Hello everyone, and welcome to another review by the Dynamic Duover. And today we should be looking at the fourth episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Not Fade Away. This means we're more than halfway through the season. And this episode, I have to say, is probably the weakest episode in the season so far. The summary for this episode is that Travis and Madison witness different sides of these events that are going down right now. Travis sees only the good side of the military, while Madison, Daniel, Nick sees that only bad things are going to happen. And right now, it looks like things are getting worse, not better. Like, at the beginning of the episode, Travis is like, don't worry, the military will handle this. Things are going to get better. Like, we see how each person, most of our main character, react to the military. Like, the main people of this episode are Travis, Madison, and Nick and Daniel. Like, all the other characters are pushed to the side for this episode. We see these military troopers through their eyes. So we begin with it's been 9 days since episode 3, and people have been put into this camp. Like, they put a fence around the entire neighborhood. Like, this is the safe zone, and that's where the military has been putting all of the survivors they find into this place. And right now, like, the military is trying to make sure everyone is safe. Like, we have like the commander of the military telling them that you guys are the lucky ones. You guys are safe because we are giving you our full attention. And and Travis is buying this the most. Like, he believes like the military is their savior. And it seems like that he and the commander have this sort of agreement. Like, I think the commander thinks that Travis is so easy to use that he would be the best person for the civilians to look up to because he knows most of these people. And when one of his neighbors is so afraid to do anything, like, he doesn't even want to face the military. He's hidden away in his room from his family, from the military, and they ask Travis to talk to him, to ask him to apply by all their rules they set up. Like, now we have a curfew, we have times on when electricity can be available, and they go through the neighborhoods fast. Like, if only they got away without stopping in the last episode, they might have avoided this. And like, Travis does talk his neighbor Doug out of this. Like, he does come out. He does go and see the military. While his ex-wife Lisa, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is pretending to be a nurse. She has medical training. She's the best they can afford, and she started this relationship with one of the military guys. And right now, she's trying her best to keep this one guy who has this heart condition alive. And, like, they're next door neighbors to this guy. So Nick sees that Lisa and this guy's wife leave to talk, and he goes into that room, and it looks like he's holding the tube which connects to the life support. So he's probably dying right now. I don't know why Nick is thinking this way, but in episode 3 he said that these people are dead. So I think this is the way to prove that these people become what they are anyway. I think he knows this from episode 1 after shooting that drug dealer from episode 1. And we also find signs that Nick is doing better, that he's feeling better, he's okay, he's now swimming around, he hasn't had one of these crashes for a while, it seems. And during this time, Chris, Travis' son, looks out onto the distance and sees the shining light. And he tries to communicate. He tries to show his father this, but he doesn't react to it. It's just like the sunlight. And this, I hate Travis in this episode. He's doing all the wrong things. They shouldn't trust the military. They are taking the sick away, and we don't know what they're doing with the sick. They could be taking them to a hospital, or they could just be shooting them, for all we know. And right now, Travis is in this mindset that the military is doing the right thing, that they are keeping them safe. He doesn't know what happens to the people who go missing. And Daniel's wife, she still has that broken leg, and he doesn't want the military to take her to wherever they take these people. And this is something I don't like. I agree with Daniel. I wouldn't like this either. If something's bad going on, they could just be trying to get rid of the old and the sick to make sure they don't get any of the infected into the safe zone. And I think the military realizes that people who die becomes the walkers. I think they realize this, and they don't want any of the sick or the old turning into walkers. Now, during this time, Alicia heads into their dead neighbors, Susan and Patrick. Don't know about Patrick. We haven't heard anything, but it's safe to assume the military just killed him after being covered in his dead wife blood. And she finds this note that is really just a suicide note that we find out later near the end of the episode, that it's most likely that after Susan witnessed this godlike thing, and which was probably a walker or someone that got killed becoming a walker and eating someone, that she is scared, that she doesn't want to see what happened and probably just killed herself. Alicia reads the note. And another thing that was interesting is how Madison, she cuts through the gate and she heads out to see what's going on the other side of the gate, out of the safe zone. And she sees bodies of the infected and people that aren't infected. She sees this young boy who was holding a gun and he was shot. He didn't turn. And this terrified her. And I would be scared if the military is just shooting people for no good reason, just because they think they could be infected. I would be terrified if I saw this event for myself. The writing in this episode was pretty good. I really enjoyed how we got to know some of the characters, see their views on the military. Now the military has finally brought in a proper doctor, and she's going around checking on every person. We find out that the patient Liza, I'll show you that's her name, has been removed and taken to this hospital. And when Nick finds this out, he looks terrified. I think that guy did die, and is just covering it up. The military is just telling them that everything's going to be okay, but Nick realizes the truth that if you go to this hospital, you die. There's no coming back. They would kill you, and that would be it. I think that's what Nick realizes. So as Chris tries to communicate with this guy that's shining the light, he tells Travis, and he does nothing. Like, he does tell the commander of the military about this, but he's like, it's nothing. We went over that area. There is no one there. And during this time, Doug has gone missing. Like, Travis found his car near the fence and tells the military commander this, and he says, we've taken him to the hospital. He's okay now. He's getting the help he needs. And like you can start to tell that Travis is not starting to believe this. Like, he's like, are these the good guys, or are they just trying to make sure no one that is sick or is the weakest link doesn't get into the safe zone? They get removed and get shot. Now, something else that is interesting in this episode is how Daniel tells Madison his story, why he doesn't trust the military, because people in his old country, they took a bunch of people and just shot them and threw them into the river where he discovered them. And this is the reason why he doesn't think the military is here to help. And he tells Madison that the military is going to take his wife, and he's going with them because he's scared for her safety, and if anything happens, he wants her to protect his daughter. By the way, there's something I just want to say. His daughter, Olivia, I don't know his daughter's name. Like, she hasn't done anything. Like, she's just like a side character that's just there. Like, I have not seen any development. The only character trait I have seen is that she just wants to protect her family. That's it. Nothing else. She was at her mother's bedside for the entire episode. Like, I have not seen anything that would think this character could survive the apocalypse. So, out of all the characters so far, I think she and Travis are the weakest link, and they might get killed off. So later that day, the military, they head into Travis and Madison's home and take Daniel's wife to this military hospital, also they say. But they also take Nick. I almost forgot the most important part. You can tell that Madison is starting to lose it. Like, earlier in the day, before all the military entered her house, she started to whack Nick for just looking for something. Like, she just keeps on whacking him. And you can tell that she's starting to lose it, that this word is getting to her. And she could become a threat to the rest of the group because she's becoming unstable. Right now, I think the strongest members of the group are Daniel and Madison because they both have killed a walker. They know how to deal with these people. They know something's up. I think they're the strongest members of the group so far. Oh, and one more thing. We never saw a walker in this episode. No walkers. It was just fear the military for this episode. So after they take Daniel's wife and Nick, Nick tried to run. He really didn't want to go with them. They knocked him out. They dragged him out of the house and was threatening to shoot his entire family. They were pointing guns at everyone at this point. And Liza decides to head to the military hospital. And right now, Madison blames her for what's going on because of her, she brought this doctor to their house to check Nick, and now he's being dragged away to wherever these people are going, and she blames Travis as well for bringing Liza here to her house. Like you could see the anger in her eyes. So after Travis heads up to the roof to think, he sees a bunch of lights that are likely from a gun at that house where Chris has been seeing that light coming from. And I think the military went up there after Travis told them that there could be a survivor up there, and they just killed him. I think that's what's going through Travis's head right now. I think he knows that things are going to get worse from here, that he doesn't trust the military anymore. So overall, did I think this was a good episode? Yes. Was it the best? No, it would have to be the weakest moment in the episodes, but it's a nice breather for what's to come, because we only have 2 episodes left of the season, and we know in the final 2 episodes, this is where everything goes to hell. Like, major characters will probably die in the next 2 episodes. Well, I'm the Dynamic Duover, and I give this episode a 7 out of 10. Until next time.